Hello, everybody. Good evening. Another evening voice recording. And welcome to day 24, I think, and a day of opposites, or at least a day of contrasts, I think. So, back to that old colour wheel. Do you remember the colour wheel we looked at a few pebbles ago? And in direct opposite to each other is purple and yellow, and it's a combination I have never played with, and I decided to give it a go today. So I also wanted to give a go of using loads of different mediums, from matte mediums to shiny mediums, just to play really. So I'm going to tell you what I do. I lay down first a watercolour pebble with a few different watercolours, and I know I'm right off camera at the moment. I promise it gets better in a minute. I suddenly realised that you're supposed to be watching me. Anyhow, I lay down some watercolour and dry it off. And then I head to my magazines like I did yesterday and find some interesting purple pieces of colour. And I spend a good kind of 10 minutes, so this is clipped down quite a lot, cutting shapes out. So I'm not using the formal shape that's in the magazine, but instead I'm creating shapes using my scissors. This is a really fun thing to do, by the way. It's a sort of painting with paper technique. Anywho, so I cut loads of shapes out. I'm not really planning what I'm doing. I'm not really thinking about it much. I'm just cutting shapes that I'll like. I've clipped it down a bit because it went on and on and on. I just got a bit into it. I think cutting is a really fun thing to do. Do any of you have little kids? I don't know, about the age of 4 or 5, where they suddenly learn what scissors can do and they just sit there and cut things up. My boys used to cut paper into little tiny shreds. We never needed a shredding machine. We just gave scissors to them and they would cut everything into the tiniest of pieces. So maybe that's where it comes from, the joy of just snipping and cutting and making shape. And then I play with the shapes. Again, childhood memory. Do you remember the fuzzy felt stuff where you had those shapes? Where's fuzzy felt gone? I want a fuzzy felt board now for me. Maybe this is grown up fuzzy felt. So I'm sticking these shapes down. I'm playing with a layout, just deciding where they're going to go, what's going to go where. And then I glue it down with my glue stick. And then, a little bit dangerously, because a glue stick is not water solvent, I never know if it's solvent, soluble, dissolvable. Anyway, it doesn't really like water thrown at it. It does not a Pritt stick. But we get some acrylic paints now and a bit of gouache, and I just add a little bit of colour to those collagey pieces. So layering it up, creating my own pattern. And then I thought, shucks, I haven't had the gold out enough recently. Let's get the gold out again, because it is a yellow, of course. So that means I can use it. And I use the yellow to create pattern and line to connect all those pieces. Now you can't really see it without a light on it. Once the light comes on it, you can see all these little gold lines that are hidden in and amongst that watercolor yellow that really shine out once you put a light on it. And then I'm done. Oh, no, I forget one final bit. I kind of looked at it when it had the gold in it, and there was just a bit too much empty space for me with it. It didn't have much movement. It looked a bit static, and I didn't want to start adding loads more to it. So I simply chopped up some little tiny triangles as an opposite from all the circles and the curves that I had. Chopped those up and sort of scattered them down. Now, top tip, when you are trying to stick down little tiny shapes and you don't want to show a gluey smear on your painting, get your Pritt stick, put the little tiny shapes on top of the Pritt stick, and then just pull them off one by one and stick them down, because there's plenty of room to stick them all on top of the Pritt stick first, as you can see me doing here. So that's my piece done for today. See, when you look at the final bit, see if you can spot how many opposites there are, or contrasts. Let's use the word contrasts. Opposites might be a loose term. Um, I look forward to seeing what yours arrives at being, what opposites you use, and I'll see you tomorrow.